Missouri Synod, and we'd like you to know that with Christ, there's plenty of hope to go around.
We've got something to talk about.
Wouldn't you love to be out of debt? What if we told you that by saving as little as $5 a week, you could be on the road to financial peace?
Something to think about.
He is our favorite financial guru, Dave Ramsey. He's back, so get a pencil. He's going to show us how to get control of your finances and stop worrying about money forever.
Now Gayle's got something to talk about.
Do you ever lay awake in your bed at night and wonder which bills are you going to pay, or which ones will you put off for another month? Or do you find yourself avoiding the phone calls because you're dodging the bill collectors? Or how about this? Have you ever sent the phone bill to the electrical company and the electrical company the phone bill? I would never do such a thing, but I've heard that works sometimes. Well, if you've got money worries, you'll want to spend the next half hour with us, because our favorite money guru, he is backed by popular demand. Last time he was here, the phone was ringing off the hook saying, we want to see that guy again. He's the author of the best-selling book. It's called Financial Peace, and he says that you can get out of debt and quit living from check to check. It's easier than you think. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome financial guru. This is Dave Ramsey. He's host of the nationally syndicated radio talk show, The Money Game. Hi, Dave. Nice to see you again. Nice to see you. That's for sure. God, and you've come with props this time. Now, last time you were here, we were talking about getting out of Christmas debt. Remember that?
Yeah.
You remember that,
I do.
So what's the biggest thing now for people in terms of being concerned when it comes to money?
Well, the big thing facing folks right now is I got to pay those taxes if I didn't have enough taken out. And then the little impulse things, spring is in the air, we have to buy a house, we need a new car, and I got to have a boat. No way.
I gotta have a boat?
Yeah, there's no way. It can't live without it. So it's toys, summertime toys, and of course vacations.
What about vacations?
Vacations is a big one. And well, the only vacations that are really fun are ones that don't follow you home.
That's true, Dave. And you know, when I'm thinking of vacation, I don't mean, because we've been to Martha's Vineyards, the kids and I, and the dogs, you get in the car and you feel like the Beverly Hillbillies, because you got the lawn furniture on the top, you gotta take all the groceries. And I'm thinking, this is a lot of work. So I'm thinking vacation to me means getting on a plane and checking into a hotel.
Or someone carries stuff for you.
Well, someone carries
good.
stuff and serves you all the time. That's the kind of vacation I like. But even in USA Today, they were talking about credit risky business. The type of ads where they say, hey, we can sell you a car whether you have, what do they call you, a bad credit risk? Even you too can buy a car.
Yes, you too can buy a car.
Not to worry about it.
Well, you've got to do that if you want to sell things on credit today, because 70% of the public is living paycheck to paycheck. Last year,
how many percent?
70%. 7 out of 10 households. Ouch. And 1.33 million bankruptcies in '97, up 19%. Commerce Department fresh statistics, savings is at a 58-year low.
Wow.
Normal is broke. Normal is bad credit. And so if you want to sell stuff on credit, you better be ready to sell stuff to people that have bad credit.
Do you think anybody should buy a new car?
Well, there's nothing wrong with a new car as long as you pay cash for it and don't notice it when you buy it.
But Dave, no, most people can't pay cash for a new car.
I love a new car. I love the smell of that leather. My next door neighbor pulled in a new one the other day. I could smell the leather from my driveway.
Yeah.
I need that car. You know? But and that's the American thing. We place a lot of prestige in it. Well, he's doing well. Look at what he's driving. You know, he's broke. He has a big lease payment. You know, it's
Yes.
But the problem is you lose 60% of your value when you drive that thing off the lot. A friend of mine says the worst car accidents happen on the showroom floor.
Wow.
I mean, when you start taking, when you start taking $20,000 and turning it into $8,000, that's $250 a month. So as you're driving down the road, just let 100 slip out the window about once a week to get the effect.
Wow. So you're saying you shouldn't buy a new car unless you can pay cash for it?
You shouldn't buy a car, period, unless you can pay cash for it.
Really?
Car payments will kill you. Is that radical? Oh, Dave.
That is a little radical.
You got to understand, though, normal in America is broke. If you want to be wealthy, you got to be weird. So drive an old junker, save the car payment. Average car payment in America is $378. If you just didn't do that and save for 10 months, it's almost a $4,000 car for cash and no debt.
So what are you saying you should do then? You buy a car that you can afford, that you can pay cash for. Okay, so you take the money that you were going to spend on the car payment. Tell me what you do. How does it work?
Just throw that into an account. If you start saving $378 a month for 10 months, if you put it in the cookie jar, You can pay cash and 10 months later move from a $4,000 to an $8,000 car. 10 months later move, but instead we got to have it.
Yeah.
And we got to have it now.
Yes.
And we live in a society where microwaves outsell crock pots 10 to 1.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're saying if you save like that, 10 months is a small price to pay to save and buy the car outright.
And not be stuck in this slavery thing. The borrower's slave to the lender, the Bible says, and it's not kidding. See, if you took $378 because you didn't have a car payment and saved that in your 401k or in your mutual fund from age 25 to age 65, 40 working years, you'd have $4 million. Hope you like the car.
Wow, okay.
See,
I'm not liking that car so much anymore, Dave.
It robs I'm
not liking it so much.
It robs
that new
fun.
leather smelled patooey. Now, you're talking, you call that the sinking fund? Is that what you call it? The
right, if you
fund?
save, that's a sophisticated financial term, which means a savings account that we're saving for something in the future and using interest on the savings account to our benefit rather than paying that tall building downtown the interest. And it just builds up and pay cash for it. And the fun thing is, when you start paying cash for stuff, you get huge, wait a minute, where is it?
You're about to give me
huge
some money?
discounts. Yeah, well,
what about that thing about
samples.
buy now, pay later? You know, they say you buy something in December and make your first payment on it in
Yeah.
March or
90
February.
days, same as cash.
Yes, yes,
Use
yes.
other people's money for free. Sounds
Yes.
sophisticated, doesn't it?
Yes.
But 78% of those folks don't pay it off and end up financing it at the finance company at 26 to 36% APR. Ouch.
Yeah.
And then wonder why we can't fund our kids' college fund. Plus, when you walk in and start doing this in the stereo store, you can get a good buy. 90
What do
days
you
is
mean?
not the same as cash.
What do you mean? Because they'll give you a better deal if you walk in waving cash?
Sure.
If you don't get mugged on the way in there.
Well,
Hey, I got some gas.
just
Hey.
line up right here.
No, but you're saying if you go to the store with cash and say, look, I want to buy today, you think they'll give you believe they'll give you a much better deal?
Oh, no, they will. I do it all the time. That's how we live. You got a choice. You can either take a chance of getting mugged on the sidewalk or get mugged for sure inside.
Okay.
I mean, go in there and play the hardball with them a little bit. Have some fun with this stuff. We bought a $1,250 washer and dryer. Now, this thing makes sandwiches at halftime, right? You got to have Windows 95 to operate it, you know?
Yes.
But for $750. Because I beat on and beat. No, I take that back. It was $900.
Yeah.
Only saved $350.
Now, I've heard you say, too, that you can save $5 a week. $5 a week and really make a difference in your life.
Well,
$5 a week, $20 a month can really make a difference.
The hook is
I find that so hard to believe.
Every week.
Yeah.
See, if you started at 18 years old and saved, say, $25 a month, at 68, you'd have just under $1 million if you'd done it in mutual funds. See, there's no excuse for retiring with no dignity in this country, but yet we are because of stuffitis. I got to have some stuff, and I got to have it now, and then those payments are robbing my ability to save and invest later.
If disaster hit today, here's the question. Would you have the finances to cover it, do you think? And we're talking about disaster. Everybody gets a disaster every now and again. When we come back, Dave teaches us how to build that emergency fund that will keep you rolling through the good times and the bad. We'll be right back.
You got to slow down. Don't buy in the first year of marriage. Don't buy if you're going to be moving every 3 years, and buy with a 15-year fixed rate or less. Have a plan for being out of debt and being free.
Does tossing one of these into your tank kill germs? Who knows? Until now. Introducing Lysol Continuous Action Automatic Toilet Cleaner. It not only cleans and deodorizes, it kills germs. No other automatic toilet cleaner kills more. Till you have our word on it, you can't call it clean. Share the bathroom, not the germs. Lysol Basin Tub and Tile Cleaner. The clean that helps protect.
Hola, amigos! Woo!
Where do you go for an authentic Mexican soft taco dinner?
Quattro?
Welcome, dudes, to the casa. La la la, que pasa? Hey, let's go whack a pinata.
Next time, come to Old El Paso. Now with new seasonings and fresher tortillas, the Old El Paso Soft Taco Kit helps you create the real stuff. All in that great little place you call your home. Welcome to Old El Paso, the authentic Mexican place.
Oh, the natural attraction of beautiful, healthy hair. TCB Naturals with 100% natural extracts.
Depression is just where you don't think you're ever going to get happy again. You don't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
I didn't care about me. I didn't care about anybody else. I just, I didn't have any hope for the future.
I just closed up all the windows, I closed up all the doors, and I sat for 3 months within my apartment. And I'm wondering, and I'm debating the value of my life what's it worth? What's it worth to me? What's it worth to anyone?
You don't have to try to get through depression by yourself. It's okay to get help. So call Charter now.
I felt like I was fighting myself, trying just to get through each day, and I couldn't do it anymore.
Charter is more than just a hospital. We have lots of treatment options and lots of ways to make them work for you, whether it's days, after work, or on weekends.
And you're not alone. That was a big thing. I thought, well, I'm the only one that has this problem, and it's not true.
If you have a problem with depression or alcohol, don't wait to call. And if you don't get help at Charter, please get help somewhere.
Talking with financial planner Dave Ramsey. And Dave says that after 5 years of marriage, the average couple begins to feel just a little pinched in the pocketbook because they have little or absolutely no savings, and they start to get a little scared. And also, I've heard, Dave, we can get a little cranky too. You get money problems, you get real cranky with your spouse. Now, you attribute these problems to two major things.
Lack of knowledge and lack of discipline. Sounds like growing up, doesn't it?
Yes, kind of.
What happens to us is this. We get out of school and we get married, right? Yeah. No, this is not marriage. but in the real world, the borrower is slave to the lender. And we get out of school, we got a little bit of a student loan debt, maybe a little bit of a MasterCard debt or a little car payment, right? Yep. So we get married, and you got to have a stereo. I mean, mom and dad got an 8-track, right?
Right.
So we go get a new car, because you got to have a new car, right? And then you got to have a house, because everybody knows that real estate's a good investment. So usually in the first 18 months of marriage, then we buy a home in the same neighborhood as our parents. So we live in the same neighborhood they do. We got a better car than they do, definitely a better stereo system, but we're broke. And 52.
And we're hopping around on one leg.
Yeah. 52% of the marriages end in divorce in the first 7 years, and money problems are cited as the main reason. Something's going on here, and it's time we break
Hey,
this
Dave,
chain.
was that a very comfortable position for you? Did you feel pretty good doing that? Wow. So that's what you're talking about, lack of discipline, because we think we got to have it. Not only do we got to have it, we got to have it now.
Hey, it's not worth it to have a 2-year-old car versus a 4-year-old car. It's not worth it to have a boat I can't afford. And then my kid's college fund's not funded, and 78% of the college seniors graduating this year have student loan debt. We're doing this stuff backwards. We're not accomplishing what we wanted, which was happiness and freedom.
But when you said the part about buying the house, we've all been told that real estate is a good investment.
Oh.
And so when it comes to renting or buying, I'm always thinking that you're supposed to buy.
Well, sure, you're supposed to buy when you're ready.
Because the first time I went to go buy my very first house, and they said you have to have 20% down, I'm like, well, where's that money coming from? Does the bank give me that too?
Yeah, where's mom?
Where's mom? That was totally confusing. So you're saying when you're ready, you should do it.
See, your grandparents rented a loft for the first 3 years they were married over somebody's garage.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that.
No, I couldn't.
No, you know, and what we're doing is we're just doing it too fast. Because we got to have it, and we got to have it now. And there's nothing wrong with owning a home. Real estate's a great investment, but it's a curse when you buy it and can't afford it.
But Dave, people always say that sometimes your rent payment is mortgage money. And it seems like you never get ahead, renting.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're not getting ahead doing what we're doing. You got to slow down. Don't buy in the first year of marriage. Don't buy if you're going to be moving every 3 years, and buy with a 15-year fixed rate or less. Have a plan for being out of debt and being free. Think like your grandmother. We had some common sense back then.
Yeah, I know. A lot of us are missing common sense these days. Our guests, we're not talking about our guests.
No.
That was a bad segue. I didn't mean that way it sounded, guys. Our guests, Cheryl and Christopher Lane, fall into the category that we were talking about. Married almost 5 years, and the couple now finds themselves $30,000 in debt and with no emergency funds to speak of. Dave says, Dave believes this, that he can change all of that. Please welcome Cheryl and Christopher Lane to the show today. Let's see their expenses on this
Okay,
one,
well, let's look at some of their
because
debt.
keep in mind, they came into the marriage, you've been married 5 years, $7,000 in debt. So you start off with a problem then, don't you?
Yeah, well, sure. You're starting in the hole, and then you just don't know what to do. Nobody teaches us how to do this stuff.
Right.
They've got a mortgage of $88,000. Their monthly payment is $978. By the way, folks, their take-home pay is $2,400. Almost half of it going into a mortgage. Their car payment, pretty typical, not an abusive car, $235. Normal credit card debt, actually a little below the national average with $160 going out. And they have 3 children, and mother-in-law lives at home with them, and they're only spending $350 on food.
I find that figure really low, guys.
No, it's not,
really
it's not
low.
right.
3 adults and 3 children, and your budget is 3.
It's not.
You don't believe it?
No, it's not. It was a guess. It was, you know, we're not doing, we've done 10,000 budgets working with couples like you guys. And with a family of 3, it's probably approaching 500 if you're doing a really good job. I mean, that's if you're cooking from scratch and you're not buying pre-prepared stuff. You're really watching what you're doing.
So let's see what all those numbers added up to, Brian. Let me see the next set of figures.
When we add up all of their budget, including those, they had a monthly income of $2,400, but their outgo is about $3,100.
Which gives them a deficit of
$700 in the hole.
Yeah.
But we looked at that and we tried to think. There's been some things changed lately, but the bottom line is that what we tell folks when we sit down with them is like, I'm getting ready to hire you right now to take over a company of mine. My company has a budget that looks like that. What are you going to do with it?
Start cutting back.
Cutting back and raising up, right? We got to pick up the extra job.
How do you feel about
we got to cut some
back?
stuff.
It doesn't bother me. It's
Oh, Cheryl, it's all your fault.
It's all your fault. He brought you in here to do this. This is not good. Seriously, the thing is, normally one of us is a tightwad and one of us is a spender.
Right.
And we clash just a little bit on that, to say the least.
I'm the spender.
Okay. So it's all her fault.
Yeah, but you're the spender.
Right.
That doesn't make sense, right?
But we got to do some cutting back. If we're running a company that looks like this, we cut expenses and raise income, or we don't survive.
Sometimes you got to fire people, though.
Yeah.
Can't fire the kids, can't fire the mother-in-law.
You can fire the cable company at $45 a month.
Okay.
You can crank up the food budget and make it realistic. Long term, you've got to have a plan to get rid of the $160 going out on credit cards and get that car paid off. I want you to do that in the next 6 to 8 months, and that means the dreaded extra job. But see, I don't want extra jobs and cutting back to be a way of life. I want it to be a short-term intensity, rocky kind of thing. Punch it out
Are both of
so
you
that
all
it's gone
working
forever.
now?
Yes.
What do
And
you
she's
do?
going
What
to
do you do?
school.
You're working and going to school
Yes.
full-time?
Yes.
So how can she get an extra job? You're looking at Chris when you say
Yeah,
that.
well, I'm going to have to because she's taken up. She's going to school to better herself, which will help in the long run because we get the income up, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's good long-term thinking, which is how you always get ahead financially. But the bottom line is that we don't have a choice here. Something's going to give. We're headed towards bankruptcy if we keep doing this. These numbers don't add up. So we've got to get the car payment paid off as soon as possible by taking. But when it's paid off and the credit cards are paid off, and we vow, draw a line in the sand, never, no more debt. When the credit card offers come in the mail, we don't go, oh, thank you, Lord. We go, ugh, get away, right? You got to change your response to debt offers.
But shouldn't they stop using their credit cards now?
Oh, immediately. Plastic surgery is at hand.
Yeah.
Cut them up immediately.
Yeah.
And you got to stop that right now. I'm not telling you this is easy. There's no magic wands, okay? But for a short period of time, let's earn about $1,000 a month extra, $600 or $800 a month extra, and in a year, we don't have 160 going out, we don't have 235 going out, then maybe we can keep the house and turn the cable back on. But I'm going to tell you, as long as your income stays where it is, long term, you may have to look at this house situation because half of it going out in house is hard. I hope you can keep the house. That's the last thing you do is sell a house. But you got a real high ratio in there, almost half your income's going out in house payment. That's going to be a hard one to keep doing.
So here's a question. Once you have saved the money, what should you spend it on? We'll talk about that right after the break.
A mutual fund is a very simple investment to understand. It's very simple to do. You can set it up where it comes out of your checking account automatically, or even comes out of your check to go into your 401k or 403b at work.
Before you even see it.
And before Uncle Clinton sees it.
Hard to resist taste stations. It's so smooth and oh so dreamy. Hard to resist taste stations. Long lasting and creamy.
Butterscotch.
Peppermint. Chocolate. Taste stations from Hershey.
Gobi's been with me for years now. I feed him Alpo because it's got real beef in it. I plan on having him around for a long time.
Now with 50% more beef because a great dog deserves Alpo. From Friskies.
1-800-US-SEARCH. Find a long-lost friend or family member right now while you wait on the phone. Find anyone. Call 1-800-US-SEARCH.
My dad picks me up from the airport. We're on the freeway, and he starts examining my teeth. My dad is kind of obsessed with healthy teeth. Let me see. I like healthy teeth, Dad, but I also want my teeth white. So he tells me about this whitening toothpaste from Mentadent.
Mentadent Advanced Whitening Toothpaste has a special whitening formula for your smile and the fluoride, baking soda, and peroxide dentists recommend.
Nicole, you have to take care of your teeth. My dad.
Mentadent Advanced Whitening for your smile, for your teeth.
Hi, I'm Bob Klingel, General Manager of NBC 33. And I'm here to tell you about a wonderful program on another channel. That's right, on March 21st and 22nd, FAME, the Foundation for Art and Music in Elementary Education, will hold its annual festival. With over 8,000 school children exhibiting their art and performing music, drama, and dance, it's a program to be proud of. As part of NBC 33's commitment to our community, we wanted to bring FAME to more of you. So we're presenting the festival live on Comcast Cable. At NBC 33, we think it's important to be involved. That's part of working hard to be your best television station. Now I'd like to introduce you to just a few of the many wonderful people who inspire us here at NBC 33 with their involvement in our community.
Thank you, Fort Wayne, for supporting Fame.
Thanks for supporting Aaron's House, Fort Wayne.
Junior Tune says thank you for helping us to reach 74,000 area youth.
IPFW thanks you, Fort Wayne,
for supporting the Hilliard Gates Scholarship Fund.
Wheel of Fortune brings you a taste of the good life from fabulous Beverly Hills.
There's a ratings grabber right there.
See how the other half lives on Wheel of Fortune's Beverly Hills Week.
Weeknights on NBC 33.
Think you're ready for a little mind game with Alex? Well, you'd better be, because he's got more than just answers up his sleeve.
Absolute power over time and space.
So remember, use your head. Watch Jeopardy!
Weeknights on NBC 33.
30 Minutes with Gayle King is a crash course in smart shopping. We're taking a second look at second-hand stores. One of these outfits is $1,800. The other?
$24. I'm liking that better all the time.
What's old is new again on the next Gayle King Show.
Telling us how we can cut the corners, make the sacrifices, and finally begin to start saving money. So say you followed his advice and you saved $2,000 or $5,000 saved. So now what should you do? And it's amazing when you look at the stuff you spend in your life, there are really ways to cut back that you don't think about.
First goal is to get out of debt completely, except the home. Okay, pay off all your debts so that then gives you even more money to save. Then let's finish the emergency fund. A fully funded emergency fund's 3 to 6 months of expenses, and then let's start investing and have some fun. A mutual fund is a very simple investment to understand. It's very simple to do. You can set it up where it comes out of your checking account automatically, or even comes out of your check to go into your 401k or 403b at work.
Before you even see it.
And before Uncle Clinton sees it. The credit union, where they can take it out of your check, is a great plan, but don't hook that savings account to your overdraft protection. Otherwise, you do the credit union two-step. It just kind of passes through savings, you know. But you gotta kind of trick yourself into having some.
Is that what it's called, the credit union two-step?
That's one that we came up with. Yeah.
What about stocks and bonds? We talk about that.
Well, stocks and bonds through mutual funds are the way to go. Buying a single stock is a huge risk because most of us don't have time to do the research or the ability to do the research. But a mutual fund will spend $50, $40 million a year researching which stocks to buy, and then you get the benefit of riding some of those great rates of return. The average mutual fund's made over 12% in the last 20 years. 94% of them have.
Do you think life insurance is a good idea? Health insurance, life insurance?
Life insurance is a must, especially if you have a family with children at home. Dad and mom need life insurance on them, and it's very inexpensive if you'll buy a good 15 to 20-year level term. For 50, 60 bucks a month, you can have hundreds of thousands of dollars in your 20s and 30s in coverage, and so it's just really irresponsible not to have it. Same goes for health insurance. Number one cause of personal bankruptcy is medical bills. Number two is credit cards, and it's not medical bills without insurance, it's medical bills without insurance and without an emergency fund.
When we come back, Dave talks about the first 3 things you need to get rid of to get on that road to financial peace. He says it can be done. We'll be right back.
United is proud to be the official carrier of the Gayle King Show, working toward a more professional travel experience. We're headed in a different direction. United Airlines rising. Our guests stay at the beautiful Avon Old Farms Hotel, Connecticut's most romantic wedding and dining facility. It's on the mountain in historic Avon, Connecticut.
Oh, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an unclouded day. Come to the church in the wild.
Boy, it's good to be here again. On the old Griffith Show, we used to call this Myers Lake. Great place for picnicking, fishing, hymn singing. That's the main reason for coming back here today, to introduce my new album.
Just as I am, without one plea.
Just As I Am, a collection of 30 favorite old-time hymns. This is where Opie threw the rock in the lake, remember?
Somewhere beautiful Isle of
Once in a while, Barney and I even caught a crook here.
Now let us have a little talk with Jesus. Let us tell him all about our trouble.
Good friends, good singers, good musicians make a good record. And this was a real celebration. There is power. All my life I've enjoyed singing hymns because they're a message of goodness and love. I hope you enjoy hearing them. I appreciate it. I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away.
To order Andy Griffith's new album, call the number on your screen or send check or money order for $14.99 for 2 cassettes or $17.99 for compact disc, plus shipping and handling to the address below. Rush delivery available. Andy Griffith's new album is not sold in stores, so please call now.
Fly away.
There you go. Please fill it out completely.
What? You didn't register with Selective Service? Don't you know it's the law?
Why kill your chances for student loans, job training, and federal jobs? Register with Selective Service when you turn 18. It's what a man's gotta do.
Next.
Tonight, catch the great taste of Gorton's flaky white fillets with crunchy coatings, like garlic and herb or lemon pepper.
Just the Gordon's fisherman.
Now, Dave says that there are 3 budget busters, and he calls them, that he says can absolutely, positively ruin a savings plan. I looked at your list, and I hate all of them.
I hate them, too.
You hate them, too. Starting with the ATM cards.
The only thing I like about them is they work. The ATM card, 90% of the usage is impulse. And impulse was not in your plan.
Well, they've made it so convenient. We can drive to the ATM now. We don't even have to get out of the car.
No, if it works.
Yeah. So you're saying get rid of your ATM cards?
No, just quit using it, except for major emergencies. I carry one, but I've forgotten the pin. It's been so long since I've used it.
Really? Okay.
Then the second one is get rid of credit cards. Ouch. The famous plastic surgery. But, you know, in 10 years of doing this, I've met with hundreds of millionaires. I've never met anybody that said, you know, I got rich using credit cards.
You haven't met one?
No, not one.
You said we should cut back on writing checks, which I think, how in the world do you do that? You're saying don't even bother writing checks.
Well, some things, like in the grocery store, if you'll take cash and put it in an envelope, write food on the envelope, and spend cash in the grocery store, a recent study said you spend as much as 50% less. That study was done by Dun & Bradstreet, because when you lay cash out on the counter, it hurts.
Yep.
You feel it. And if you lay the credit card up there in the grocery store, well, everything,
really
all the
painless.
Twinkies, you know, we got to have it all.
Dave has very kindly offered to counsel Christopher.
Absolutely.
And Mrs. Lane. He said you can call him anytime, and he'll give you advice. Thanks again, Dave. It's always good to see you, because he always comes with great advice. We hope that we've given you at least something to think about. Even if it's painful, I really do think anybody can do anything for a year. If you buckle down, we can do that for a year. We'll see you next time on the road to financial peace. Take it easy. A transcript of this program can be purchased for $6 and a videotape for $29.95 plus $5 handling. Don't forget to include the name, the subject, and the air date. Here's a question. Would you like to buy a $1,600 chair for $6? Sound unbelievable? You'll have a ball, and your wallet will love you to find out how to shop and save tomorrow on the next Gayle King Show.
Today at 5, we're going live to the Oscars in L.A. to talk to Sherry Armstrong, who's preparing flowers, and is vice president of Armstrong's Florist right here in Fort Wayne. And we'll find out who's who in the running this year. Then Cooking Healthy with Kids author Joanna Lund will join us here in the studio to cook one of her famous healthy recipes in the kitchen. And Mom on the Run gives us suggestions on how to keep those nasty viruses coming back. Join me for something special on the air today at 5.
He's a patriot. He's one of the most admired and most respected men in America. He's a genuine American hero. Join IPFW and NBC 33 in welcoming General Colin Powell to Fort Wayne April 9th. Speaking on the challenges of a changing world, General Powell will inspire and enlighten. Proceeds will benefit the IPFW Hilliard Gates Scholarship Fund. Make your reservations today for your chance to see and hear one of America's great patriots, General Colin Powell, April 9th. Presented by IPFW and sponsored in part by NBC 33.
In an emergency, it's critical for your rescuers to know if you have diabetes, an allergy to medication, a heart problem, or any other medical condition. When you join Medic Alert, your emblem tells them about your condition and shows them the number to call for vital information from your medical file. Medical Alert membership, it's instant identification, and so much more. Join now.
Call 1-800-ID-ALERT. That's 1-800-ID-ALERT.
Here's your NBC 33 forecast. I'm Vetus Reed.